Royal Rising Star people. I'm your host, friend, and life coach, Mrs.Divine Awakening, and I bridge the gap between intuition and intelligence. Today, I'm talking to you all about experiencing spiritual stress, okay? So if you are not evolving right now in your life, most likely you are experiencing spiritual stress. If you are living an unfulfilled life right now, most likely you are experiencing spiritual stress. Okay, and so what does that look like in some of us? In some of us, it looks like just a boring routine life. For some of us, it looks like serious sense of responsibility where you have everything lined up and organized. You have that job that's paying you well, finally. You have that job that's giving you a raise every year. You're able to take care of your bills, able to take care of your household. You're able to handle your children or raise your children effectively. You got everything running like a well-oiled machine. That's what it looks like to be living a life that is spiritually unfulfilling, okay? I know that seems strange, but y'all who are there understand what I'm saying, because there's so much more to life than what they sold us as the American dream or the way that we should be living our lives. Okay, and what this also looks like is for a lot of anger. Okay, if you're experiencing a lot of anger right now, it's like you need anger management almost, and it's over little things or everything. That's because you are experiencing spiritual stress from not evolving. So how come you aren't evolving? That's what we're going to talk about today too. How come you aren't evolving? If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, what would you do differently? I'm going to ask you that again. If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, what would you do differently? You see, most of the times, what I'm noticing, and even what I noticed about myself, was that we aren't living to evolve. We're living to die most of the time. Most of the times, you're living to be somebody's memory somewhere down the line. Okay, we're not thinking about if we could live forever, what will we do? We're not thinking about life being a continuous chain of unfolding events that can go on and on and on. And the more we evolve, is the more we experience, the more we perceive, and the more we can change the course of life. We're looking at it like if we are here now, we only have a certain amount of years before we're going to get old, shriveled up, and die. And that, my friends, is simply not the truth. Star people, it's not the truth. That's something that was told to us a long time ago. One of the first things my spiritual mentor said to me when we started talking was, did you know you could live forever in the flesh? For some reason, I just feel like that's something I need to say to you. And I said, what we all say, yes, your soul can reincarnate over and over again. He's like, no. I mean, that your body is designed for you to live forever in the flesh, like this, like how you are now. Your body is designed to keep that going for an eternity. Now, when he said that, I realized that hit me intuitively as something I knew deep down inside, because I know these things. I know how the body regenerates. Okay, I know the way your cells work and how you recreate your whole being. You are literally not the same person you were even 8 months ago, let alone 6 years ago. Okay, like this whole makeup recreates itself all over again. Even your brain, every part of you is recreated over and over and over again. And I think I want to say it takes that after 30 days is when you have a whole new set of cells that are creating your brain. I could be wrong, but it's something like that. Okay, but so yes, when he said this, I intuitively knew that this is true. So then why do we walk around thinking that we can die? Why do you walk around thinking that once you reach the age of, let's say, retirement, 60, 65, that pretty much we have a few more years, good years left before, you know, you got to start making arrangements to die, or before your body starts breaking down? This is because it's the power of the mind. The first things they teach you is that this is a baby and this is an old person. So they limit your life right there. This is how long of a lifespan you basically have before you start to revert back like a baby. And this is simply not true. This is just simply something that was told to us. If we were told that we could live forever in the flesh, we would do things completely different. I know I would have years ago. I'm starting to do things differently now. I started to do things differently a few years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. And that's because I came to a realization that there was a lot more to life than what I ever had thought that there was. Okay, so that's where this big dramatic change comes from, when people are wondering how you go from the life that I was living before to this. Okay, so if you knew you could live forever in the flesh, would you still be doing some of the dumb stuff that you're doing right now? Would you still be fist fighting with your mate, with your spouse? Would you still think it was okay for someone to blacken your eye, or for you to haul off and slap your guy just because he made you mad? Is that something you would be doing, knowing that you could live to be like 200, 300 years old? Even for those of you who find it hard to believe that you can live forever in the flesh, that if you were 89 years old, still getting beat up on by your guy, or still beating up on your guy, would you still be doing that if you knew you could live forever in the flesh? Would you still be holding grudges from 2013 if you knew you could live forever in the flesh? Imagine that. Someone holding a grudge for a lifetime of eternity. Okay, that's some serious rage you got built up, or some serious unsolved issue you've been ignoring and allowing to build up in the shadows for years. If you could live forever in the flesh, let's say you just even maxed out to 200 or 110, okay? To have a grudge from 2013 to way out in the future like that, would you still be complaining about things that you were complaining about 2 years ago? Would you still be complaining about the same things that you wake up every day and say you wish it was different? Would you still be working that same job you can't stand to be at if you knew you could live forever in the flesh? That means that if we are supposed to be evolving, like how our bodies are designed to evolve, and for years you are doing the same thing you are doing right now. Now, I understand making consistent money and making good money, but some of us hold off on our passions. Some of us hold off on doing those things that we feel would take a lot of work, or we wouldn't have enough clients to financially fulfill our lives in that business industry, or simply that we just have a passion for that we don't think it pays bills. Like there's a lot of people who do art, who are artists, and I think they're called like the struggling artist or something. They sometimes have this passion of theirs that they let die down because they feel like they need to tune into the real world or the grown-up world. And just like people who like to rap, who enjoy rapping and making songs, you might not be the next Tupac, where the whole world is going to recognize you, but your passion exists for a reason, and it's to help you evolve. And when you evolve, you don't always evolve in front of other people. You will do a lot of evolving behind the scenes, okay? So if you knew you could live forever in the flesh, would you still be putting your passion aside just to go make $1 somewhere? Would you still be putting your passion to the side because someone else said that, well, you're not going to be as big as Tupac, or you're not the next Picasso? Would you still put your passion to the side if you felt like no one wants to listen to what you have to say? If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, when would you get started on your path of evolution? If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, would you still think that your exterior supersedes your interior? Would you still think that what you had on the outside was more important than what was in the inside, or that what someone else, somebody, let's say you're single and you're married, that what someone else looks like on the outside is more important than who they are on the inside? See, I think that that's a limited mentality that comes from people who feel as though they only have a certain amount of good years left in them. Then they're going to settle for somebody who just looks good on the outside, but inside needs a lot of work. People who know that this is a game of evolution are going to seek mates that, yes, look good to them. They still might be, very physically attractive to them, but that the inside is what matters the most. So there's somebody who's working on themselves. There's someone who's evolving on their own as well. If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, would you still be popping Molly every day, every weekend? Pop Molly, I'm sweating. Woo! All the way to your 180 years old, all the way to your 200 years old, still popping Molly, still doing drugs, still getting drunk every night, still can't wait to come home from work so you can have a drink, or every weekend go clubbing, every weekend get sloppy drunk, just so you can lower the vibrations of yourself and others around you when you go out? Is that something you would still do if you knew you could live forever in the flesh? If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, would you still be waiting to meditate? For all those who say, I don't have 5 minutes to even sit down and meditate. I hear that so much. Or 20 minutes of meditation, oh, that's a lot. And you've never even sat down to try to do it. And even those who don't meditate, what about those who just pray, right? Or have some kind of religious, spiritual practice that they do? A lot of times that falls on the wayside when people are trapped in the idea that what's happening around them in the physical world is the most important, and they're not recognizing the fact that they have spiritual evolution to do, that the spirit can become stressed, or can make you feel stressed if you're not evolving it, because it's trying to stretch, it's trying to grow. So those who are religious and have religious routines and they pray, or they go to church, and that stuff is important to you guys, right? So if that's important to you and you've been putting it on the back burner, if you knew you could live forever in the flesh, when would you start making that something that's important to you? That's so important to you where it's no longer put on the back burner. Where if you know your spiritual routine is something that you feel is valuable and creates a flow in your life, when would you start to make that really part of your routine, like waking up to brush your teeth? Okay? So if you knew you could live forever in the flesh, when would you ponder on your next thoughts of alignment? As in, where are you going to go next? What are you going to do next? What do you see yourself, where do you see yourself in the next few months, next few years? What goals do you have? When are you going to start walking on the path of your goals? If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, you would see that the American dream is not your dream. You would see that there's a lot more to life than the American dream. You would see that you were sold a dream before you even knew that there were dreams that were for sale. So if you could live forever in the flesh, what would your dream be? I'm here to remind you that your dream is evolution. Okay, everyone evolves differently, but your dream is evolution. That was your dream before you came here, and that is always your dream. Even within the American dream, it's evolution. The problem is that the American dream is limited. It limits you to the physical when we're not evolving physically. We're evolving spiritually. And if y'all haven't noticed, that's one of the most important things right now for a lot of people. People are dropping off this planet left and right, whether it's just from passing away from something, whether it's from their own hand of suicide, because the spiritual evolution is what is needed right now. Okay? Like I said, it looks different for everyone. Evolution is you freeing yourself from lower states of consciousness. Okay? So evolution is, if you know that you're experiencing or observing a lot of anger right now in your life, then it's digging into what is causing that, what is triggering that, what habits you're doing to promote that, and ascending from that. Okay? So evolution is growth. It's that inner work you must do to grow. Your evolution involves learning how to love yourself unconditionally and how to face yourself to make those changes that you know you need to make. So anything that you may see as a flaw, or anything you may see as maybe not your flaw that you see as a flaw, but that other people see as a flaw, and you thought it was fine, and now it's poking at you as, is something wrong with this? Or do I want to be seen differently? Do I want to show up differently? So when you hear things like this, you got to remember it's not personal, it's vibrational. And being able to make that shift because you love yourself unconditionally, not because you're doing it for anyone else, not because you're a horrible person and so you just want to change because you're a horrible person, but you want to show up as a person who you desire to be, as your higher self. Okay? Your evolution involves you getting in tune with yourself and your universe. Okay? So in order for you to get in tune with yourself and your universe, you have to do things to tune in. You have to realize where this anger is coming from. You have to realize where all this stress around you is coming from, because spiritual stress is real. And if you think, and you know that stress can kill, right? And they say that because you're not experiencing stress from out of nowhere. That's spiritual stress. That's from within you. And your outside world can cause you to be stressed out too, and you're going to feel it in your spirit. You're going to feel it inside of you. You're going to feel it through all your inner workings of your body. So when they say inner world versus outer world, it's nothing real mysterious about it. It's the outer world is everything you see outside of you. The inner world is everything that is within you, meaning your brain, your heart, your lungs, your veins, your hormones, your nerves, the electrical impulses that go through your synapses. It's a bunch of things that are happening inside of you that the scientists and things are already digging into to see what they mean. They just give us these labels to help us to understand and break down and categorize the different events that are happening within us. But that's the spiritual world. When you understand the way your body works inside, you start to understand the spiritual world, or spiritual terms, or spirituality. Okay, but we're not taking the time a lot of times to study the inside of ourselves, our body, because that kind of stuff seems real boring to some people, and it seems really hard to some people. Okay, there are ways to do it, ways to evolve in that way, and you have to find your way, because you must tune in with yourself. Even if that just means going to sit out in nature, you must tune in with yourself. You must get in contact with that, your inner self, tune in to your spirit, tune in to yourself, tune in to your universe, so you can spiritually evolve. Evolution looks like you raising your frequency so that you are raising the frequency of the entire world. More than the world, of the entire universe. Because you're not just connected to here on Earth. That's also a limiting thought. You're connected to everything in existence in the entire universe. That's why spiritual evolution is so important, because you have to recognize your place within this galaxy, recognize your place within this entire universe. If you knew you could live forever in the flesh, would you still be mad at the progress that you're making right now? All right. So if you're 38 years old and you're still living at home with your parents and you feel like you only have until you're about 60 or 70 before it's, lights out, then you're going to be very upset with your progress right now. You're probably not going to be too happy that you're still living at home with your parents. Probably not going to be too happy if you haven't had a baby yet or a family, if that's what you wanted. If it's not what you wanted, maybe you're unhappy that you haven't had a threesome yet or something. I don't know. I don't know what your goals are in life. But that's in the perspective that you're going to die at 70, 80 years old. If you understand that you can live forever in the flesh, pretty sure you would take care of your body, take care of yourself. Or even if you're 80 and 90 years old, 110, 250 years old, and so on, you'll be able to still have great sex without erectile dysfunction or without a vagina that's not functioning well, because you would start to take care of yourself and eat right and all these things that would lead to a healthy, active sex life, or even healthy decisions that help you to make money or have that strong mindset that you need to not only move out of your parents' home, but to maintain a life independently, outside of living with other people, to be able to take care of bills, to be able to have a family, raise a family, and still maintain your spiritual game. Okay, so when you start to eat right, your mind changes and you begin to see just how capable you are of doing these things that you feel like right now you should be doing, but for some reason you aren't. And that's making you feel like lesser of a person. So right now I'm about to give you 8 reasons why you are being held back from your spiritual growth. 8 reasons why you are not evolving spiritually. 8 reasons why you must begin to tune in so that you can start your spiritual evolution. The first reason, your circle of friends and your core family members coddle you or enable you. That's a big one. That your circle of friends coddle you or enable you. Therefore, if there's some changes you want to make in your life, and you're hanging out with the same people who either A, are doing the same thing you are, talking about the changes you want to make, but not doing nothing, or B, they're not even where you're at. They're not even talking about anything that they want to change. All they want to do is the same stuff that they've been doing. Example given, you're at a job that you are, it pays the bills, you're happy with it financially, but it doesn't do anything to mentally stimulate you. Okay? And so you either A, want a new job, something that's going to give you more of a challenge, or B, even you don't even want a new job. You just want to open up your own business on the side, or you want to focus on taking that creative writing class a little bit more seriously because you love to write. So you just want to write books on the side for fun, for money, for anything. You just want to focus on your passion now too. Are you that person who's still talking about wanting to do that? And then when you tell your friends all these your dreams and your hopes, they say, oh yeah, me too. But no one's taking the steps to do it. Or you're backtracking, backsliding. Or you're that person who wants to move out of your parents' house. And every time you're getting ready to move, your parent gets mad and says, oh, why are you leaving me? Or you can just stay here and help me. Or you don't want to have to really take on all the stress of paying a bill or paying your rent or your mortgage. See, these are people who enable you. If you know that you should not be, that you should be a better father or a better mother to your children. But you're surrounded by people, whether it be your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends, who are telling you that what you're doing is fine, or you're giving it your best, okay? And you know you're not giving your best. Don't allow people to tell you you're giving it your best when you know it's not your best. People tell me that with so many things. Oh yeah, I'm sure it is your best. You're giving your best to do that. I'm like, no, it's not my best. That's not my personal best at all. Actually, I'm saying something about it because it's such a low for me. Oh, well, most people, I'm not most people. I'm not. And that's what it comes down to. You have to recognize who you are. For some avenues of your life, you are most people. But for some other avenues in your life, you are better than the best. okay? And you have to recognize that. So if you are around people who do not push you to do better, if you say, hey, yeah, y'all, I'm drinking way too much every weekend, I'm having hangovers and not remembering what I did the day before and calling all these people I didn't mean to call, saying all these things, starting all these problems. Yeah, I'm done with drinking. And if y'all see me with a drink in my hand, make sure you take it and you dump it out. I don't care what you got to do. Get it away from me. And then you go out with these same people to the club, and not only are they watching you drink, they're buying you more drinks or finding a way to get you more high or whatever it is you're doing. These are people who we call enablers. These are people who, although they love you, you are going to be a whole different person if you start to actually make these changes that you're asking yourself for. That spirit within you is asking yourself for, which is why you're aware of the fact that it's not something good that's happening when you're drinking in the first place. Okay? So when you start to make these changes, you will no longer be a match to these people who are your core people. And that's a scary thing, not just for you. That's a scary thing for them too, to realize that if she stops drinking, what are we going to do? How are we going to have fun? She is so much more relaxed when or not so serious all the time when we drink, or she lets loose when we drink. These people can be very uncomfortable to see the new you and figure out a way to connect with you outside of drinking. Okay, so the number one reason why you are stuck in your path of evolution, why you're not evolving, why you're angry, is because you need to take a look around the people who are core to you. Who are those people you call every day, who text you, who call you for things every day, even if you're not calling them? Who are the people who you just pick up your phone for all the time? Who are these people where you're spending most of your time with? Whether it's a coworker, every day you walk in and you and that coworker right across, y'all see each other and y'all just chat all day. Okay, these people are going to play a dramatic role in your life. If it's your mom, if you do something that you don't feel like you were happy that you did, or that you feel like is like, oh, I'm about to have a fight with somebody, I know better than do this, but I'm about to do this. Who did you call? Who did you call to talk to? Who are you talking to about it? And what are their responses? These aren't people who are encouraging you to do something different. Then these are called enablers. Okay. Number 2, you are not evolving because you are too busy making everything around you look pretty. You are too busy being caught up in the routine of cleaning up the house, doing laundry, cooking dinner, taking care of the children, okay, doing your gardening, these kind of things. And I'm not just talking to women. I'm saying that because I am a female, so I understand the role, that we kind of play sometimes. But men can do these things too. They can be the ones who are actually doing this because they have a spouse who doesn't do these things. And hopefully that spouse is working on themselves spiritually. If not, you just carrying the weight of somebody who is not evolving either, which makes it even worse. But what I'm saying is that when you get too much caught in the routine of things that you think are important, but they're not that important. Yes, a clean house is important. Yes, making sure you have a healthy meal is important. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that when these things become a part of your routine to the point where there is no time for anything else, or at the end of your day, you are completely maxed out and drained, then when do you have time for yourself? When do you have time to spiritually evolve? When do you have time to do those things you need to do for yourself spiritually? When you have time to meditate? When you have time to go walk in nature? When you have time to deep breathe? When you have time to learn about yourself? If you do not have time for this, then you need to shift how you're doing things with your day-to-day routine. If you have the means to do so, hire a chef. Those are my goals, guys, to hire a vegan chef. but seriously, hire a chef if you have the means to do so. Hire a maid if you have the means to do so. Maids aren't even that expensive, y'all. Hire a nanny. And if you can't hire a nanny, that's fine. Hire a babysitter every once a week, twice a week, every now and then, whether it's to sit down and do a video for your business, or if it's just to have someone else be responsible for your children who love and take care of your children just for a moment while you go get something else done that you need to get done for yourself. Go to the spa, whatever it is you're going to do, hire a babysitter. There's nothing wrong with that as long as it's somebody who you love and trust. Yeah, I'm not with just sending your kids away, just getting rid of your kids. No. If you got that auntie who loves them and who means well and who does well, and they want to watch your children, let them do it when you need them to. You got those in-laws who want to do it, those mother-in-laws, fathers-in-laws, grandparents, do it. So your friend down the street who doesn't have a child but wishes that she did, and she's a great person, and she wants to practice, and you trust her, and let her do it, even if it's for just 2 hours or an hour. Allow yourself the freedom of doing things that you think must be done for your life, but that drains you so much where at the end of the day you can't do for yourself. And if you can't, if for some reason you just can't even afford to do anything, or you don't have anyone to babysit your kids, and that's the thing that's draining you, and you have to find a way to interconnect all these things to your spiritual higher self. There's no way around that. So if you're going to be spending all day with your children, great. When it's time to meditate, everyone let's sit down and meditate. Even if you're having a hard time or it's not comfortable for you in that position, everybody just lay down on your back, lay flat. We're going to do some deep breathing. I'm going to play a guided meditation for you all. I'm going to do a meditation, whatever that looks like to you. I know meditation isn't the only way, but meditation is one of my key ways of tuning into self. Or, hey, today mommy's not going to talk, or dad's not going to talk to most people, to anyone. I'm going to be quiet today, because it's a way of tuning into self, right? Not speaking, allowing your words to flow and thoughts to flow within you. So you're protecting anything coming in and going out. You're maintaining some kind of a balance within yourself. All right, so I'm not speaking today. I'm going on a challenge where I'm not going to talk for 24 hours. So if you talk to me, I may nod at you. Try to do yes or no questions, because that's going to be the easiest way to communicate, or find a different way to communicate with me, because my voice, I'm not going to be using it today. And that's fun, right? Because then they either get with the program and you can see them get mad, or you can see them really trying to find a different way to communicate with you. And that's what I get a lot of times with my child. My baby, she doesn't care if I talk or don't talk. She feels that connection. My son, he feels it too, but he really gets creative in how he tries to communicate with me when I go without talking. But yes, so if you can't get away from these things that you feel are just routine, even if you feel like I need to clean up before my husband comes home at 6 o'clock at night, all right, then, or I can't go to sleep with dirty dishes and things, then do it. But meditate while you're doing it. Do mindful meditation. See, that's why meditation is so great to me, because you can literally tweak it to just be a buddy alongside you all day, something you tap into all day. So yes, find a way to interconnect it if it's something you can't go without. That's how you spiritually grow, when you feel that there's something that's stopping your growth. Number 3, what's stopping your evolution is that your routine sucks, okay? So you might go to work. When you come home from work, you feel like you deserve some time to relax and do what you want to do. And a lot of times what you want to do is just watching TV, or playing the video game, or going on social media, or drinking, or smoking, or just eating and going to sleep. Okay, a lot of times our routine sucks. Everything I named there are things that are energy draining, not energy replenishing, okay? So you have to find something to do within your routine that's going to shift you and cause you to spiritually evolve, okay? So one recommendation I have for that is strong determination to have time for yourself to evolve. That means you are making it mandatory, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, that part of your routine will be something that replenishes your energy and synchronizes your energy. So that is making sure you exercise. Even if it's every day for 20 minutes, at least I'm going to exercise. Or I'm going to make sure I go on a walk after I eat, or whatever the case is. Find a way to exercise, or meditate, or do yoga, or do qigong, or deep breathing, or go into nature, or do practice your time for your creativity. So like I said earlier, if you're that aspiring artist, if you're that person who likes to sing, if you're that person who likes to rap, Practice your art, practice your passion. Make sure it's mandatory that as a part of your day-to-day, even if you're going to work your 9 to 5, afterwards, you're going to work on self. You're going to do something that replenishes and strengthens your energy. Make it mandatory. Strong determination means that no matter what, you are strongly determined to fulfill that goal. Okay? Now, number 4, what's stifling your evolution is that you are too connected to other people. Mrs. Divine? Yes, so that's me. That's where I'm at, where I am. I know I'm spiritually evolving all the time, stuff like that. But like I said, I'm not most people. I know when that road or that car on that road is slowing down, or just simply I've noticed that the acceleration has started decreasing. Okay, because I know when I'm flowing nonstop, and I know when I feel like I'm coasting. And am I pushing the gas? That's how it feels sometimes. And am I pushing the gas? That's what happens when I feel like I am too connected to other people. Okay, so it's not just about me, it's about us, right? So if you're too connected with other people, you're going to start merging your energies. I know that sounds strange, but that's exactly what happens. Meaning, if your best friend is Fifi, and Fifi is really stressed out because let's see, Fifi, what are you doing? Fifi's really stressed out because she hates her job. Okay, Fifi hates her job. And you was fine at your job, but now you're realizing that you don't know if you like your job either. Fifi's telling you all these problems she's having. People trying to tell her what to do. They act like she's not grown. She could do this work, with her eyes closed, and they're mad that she's watching Netflix while she's doing her work. They need to mind their business. They're mad that she took a long lunch, but it happens sometimes because there's traffic. And now all of a sudden in your life, you're realizing now your manager is coming up to you and saying something about, and we noticed you came back 5 minutes late from break, and we can't do that or something. You're starting to realize that, oh, maybe Fifi is right. Work isn't that great. Work is starting to be stressful. They're starting to get on my nerve at work too. And you think it's you think it's stuff you're really seeing in your real life. And I mean, it is, but you're more observant to it, more of a match to it, where these things normally would, if somebody came to you and said, hey, we noticed you had taken 5 minutes, a little bit over on your lunch break. You can't be doing that. Like, oh no, I had to stop and get gas. That's what that was about. Trust me. I'm always here, back in time. Matter of fact, before time. So yeah, no worries. That kind of stuff wouldn't even bother you before. But because Fifi be having a problem with it at work, now you be having a problem with it at your work. You get what I'm saying? You start to merge. This person's having trouble with their mother. Now your mother is getting on your nerves, okay? This person's having trouble with their spouse. Now your spouse is giving you some problems. This person's having trouble with their children. Now your children, you're starting to think, are troublesome, okay? A lot of times we're around other people and we feel like, they're just venting to us, or that's my girl. She can call me about anything. Yeah, she's going through it when it goes, she's got a husband who ain't treating her right, or her boyfriend's always cheating on her, or just anything, right? And so you're thinking that it's this person's problem. However, these things literally trickle down to your life. Even if you got a friend who's calling you all the time, telling you about how they hit the jackpot, and they got all this money that's coming to them or whatever, or they just got a new raise, they got a new promotion, you're going to start finding yourself having new raises, new promotion. That's just how it works. It's vibrational. Whatever you're tuning into is going to happen to you. And so I'm not saying everything is all bad, but you got to watch it, because whoever you're connected to is going to be connected to you. Meaning, if you are a spiritual person, you have a spiritual friend or spiritual friend, whatever they talk to you about spiritually is going to trickle down on you. Whatever they talk to you about their highs and lows of life, that's going to be something you are aware of, okay? If you have people, who are not tuned in with themselves and they're talking about it, you're going to get more out of tune with yourself. If you have people who are talking about tuning into yourself, you're going to get more tuned into yourself. And gossip is the worst, because if being connected to other people means that you're leaving your station, your frequency, your channel on the radio to tune into someone else's channel on the radio and see what they're talking about. And now your channels are merging. If you talk about somebody else and their problems or somebody else and what they're doing, now you're even more further removed from yourself. And that can just keep on going and causing entanglements of your energies, because you are worried about what someone else is doing who has nothing to do with you. A lot of times when I talk to people on the phone, I will say, does this have anything to do with you or me? Okay? And sometimes that lets them know that, actually it doesn't. Actually, it was going to be some gossip. All right, I won't talk about it. Or, no, it don't. Somebody has said before, no, it don't, but I'm going to tell you this anyway, girl. And I'm like, okay, no, that's not what I wanted, So anyway, how to remedy this is for you to go in solitude. All right, do that weekly. Do that a few times a week. Do it as much as you need to, or you just have a day where you have no phone, or you limit your phone use. Maybe you only have conversations that are 5 minutes long, and after 5 minutes you shut it off. Okay, maybe you know how to tell people now to keep the conversation between you or them. Or I just want to talk about building right now. I just want to talk about money right now. Whatever the case is, I just want to talk about happiness right now. I want to focus on good relationships right now. So even if you are that person who wants to vent to people about things, how about you not vent about everything that just went wrong for you or the way that so-and-so treated you? How about you, I want to vent right now about what I want to see happen. Okay. So I'm going to vent right now about how a relationship should be. So maybe your spouse is disrespecting you. Maybe you have a job that you feel is undermining your ability to think, okay, or your free will. Then why don't you call your friend and vent to them about everything you want to see happen? See, my man should be doing this, or my husband, this isn't that. See, I can't wait for the day when my husband does this and this, or whatever the case is. Or I can't wait till I'm making, or, I can't wait to make enough money where I can do this and this and this. This is what I really want to do in life. Okay, so vent about things instead of vent about the solution instead of venting about the problem. Okay, that's a way to remedy it too. And also, if you can go into solitude, have a day, a weekend of the day, or even just a block of time where, you're setting it aside for yourself. I'm going to wake up Sunday morning, and from the time I wake up until maybe 9 o'clock at night, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to be around my home, vibing in my home, or taking, like that, or completely working on something I want to work at, or just if I just want to relax, pamper myself all day, soak in the bath, just do me, okay? So then that's what you can do too. I had another point. I'm trying to remember what my other point was, but going within like that, you fortify the energy that is within yourself and within your home, okay? Oh, the other point I was going to make is that we think that solitude means, okay, I'm going to go shopping at the mall. I'm going to go to my friend's house and go hang out with my girls and go do this and go do that. No. When you run out your home to go do other things that are outside of you, to seek these pleasures outside of yourself, outside of your home, then that is another form of connecting with others, because you can go to the mall and literally feel instantly tired because your energy has just that quickly interconnected with everyone else there who's around you in the mall, like the internet. Like how if you look at the webs from the internet, they connect everywhere at every point because there's Wi-Fi everywhere like that. That's the same way how your energy can be. So some people can go to the mall and literally feel drained. And even if you don't speak to anybody at the mall, you have put yourself, you're like a magnet, and you put yourself inside of a bowl to literally pull to you all the energies that are around you, okay? So going outside of your home is not a good idea if you are practicing solitude. Going to your friend's house and things like that, that's not solitude. I just want some time to myself, so I'm going to call my friend and talk to them. No, that's not time to yourself. Time to yourself is time with self. That may look boring to some people. That may look like it's not something that's too exciting to do, but then that has a lot to say about you. You got to be okay with it not being a a high all the time. Okay, you got to be okay with who you are. And you're not a high all the time, just like you're not a low all the time. You got to get in tune with who you are. All right, number 5, you're not evolving because you don't want to face nor triumph over any of your demons. Okay, and I say demons for lack of better words. When I say demons, that's like anything you're battling against. Okay, so relationships are a reflection. Relationships are a reflection. So if you are hearing something about yourself from other people, how true is it? That's what you have to ask yourself. You can't just get mad because so-and-so said that you're always talking to them disrespectfully and you feel like you are the most respectful person there is. Okay? You say I'm talking disrespectfully to you. All I said was, please don't give that to my child. He really doesn't enjoy that. How is that disrespectful? You don't have to ask that person. You ask yourself, why would that person think that that was disrespectful? Oh, because they're your parent. And for you to parent your child, you have to give a certain amount of authority when you do so. And now you're sending that authority over to someone who feels like they're your parent. So you can't tell them anything to do. Oh, that's why it might be disrespectful. So is there a better way to say that? Is there a better way to go around that? If not, then you need to be okay with understanding that sometimes the stance you take isn't going to be perceived well by others. But it's you. Are you okay with the intent behind it? Was your intent to be disrespectful? No. If your intent was not to be disrespectful, then fine. You know, maybe you can live with that, the fact that other people are going to perceive you wrong. But if you actually intended to say, like, I don't care how no one takes it, I'm going to say it like this, then maybe you were disrespectful. Okay? So really looking at things that other people are saying about you, or that you, not even that people are saying about you, honestly, that you're hearing come up with other people. So I like to let my universe know that I am very much in tune, perfectly, I say, and that I am a person who can understand and sense things when you send it to them, when you send it to me, okay? So I'm not hard-headed. I don't need you to give me this lesson this way, and then I still didn't listen, then give me it in a harder way, I still didn't listen, then completely cause chaos in my life because I wasn't listening the first 2 times you tried to come through. No, I'm going to sense it. As soon as I see it and notice it, when it's observed, I will reflect, okay? Perfectly, Ashe. That's what I like to tell my universe, okay? So therefore, if you are hearing from someone that they are just so bored, I am just so bored right now. I'm just gonna go start some drama over here because I am so bored, okay? And it makes you feel some type of way inside, like you that bored, you just want to start stuff. Go meditate, go work out, go do something constructive with your time. The same way how I had that judgment for that person who said that, those words are for me. Maybe there's some points in my life where I'm doing things to waste time, or just because I didn't use my time in a way that was going to fuel me, where I could have been meditating some more or working on my craft or doing something useful, because I have plenty of projects to do. So when you notice something in someone else and you notice that you have a strong say-so against what they do or don't do, that's a lesson for you. So learning how to reflect on these things, learning how to see that if you can see a demon in someone else, you can see, then that's showing that demon within you. Even if you're not that person, even if you're not doing that thing, you're doing something to that degree on a different level. And a lot of times when you're a spiritually enlightened being, then you will see things from other people that seem drastically different from what you're doing, what you would do. So you have to understand that when you're looking at the level of how that's showing up in your life personally for you, it's going to look very different, but it is still going to be there, okay? And so it's honestly like a blessing sometimes when you can see it in other people and react to it from another person's, from a viewpoint of another person, for it being another person's situation, to realize that, oh, shoot, that's saying something about me, and then go within and see what that is and remedy that, because it's like, thank you, universe, for showing me it from far away out there. I saw it and I handled it before it can ever make it right here in my org, okay? All right. So number 6, why you are not evolving and why you're probably angry and mad about it, is that you run to others to figure out what to do with your life. You run to others to figure out what's going on or to vent. And so that goes back to what I was saying earlier. A problem with this is that you're literally training yourself when you're running to others to not tune into self, not to see what your own self has to think about that, okay? Or how your own self would tell somebody in your situation to respond, to react, and to even see how you want to show up. A lot of times when we're running off with our emotions, we are running off and doing things that we will regret. We're not going to be happy about looking at it 10 years from now. Remember, because you can live forever in the flesh. So if you look back 230 years ago to how you handled this situation, is it going to be something that makes you proud? Or is it going to be something that makes you say, I probably should have did something different, or I could have did this. So if you, instead of running off to others to vent, you instead sit with yourself. If you're so angry and frustrated, just completely turn off that phone, close your door, put your car keys away, and go sit yourself down. Go clean up. Go do something where you're able to focus on just one thing, and then you get a clear mind on how to handle that one thing you were trying to handle. Even if you're just going to stop and just breathe in for a few. Even if I'm just going to go take a walk, okay? Do something where you completely put yourself in check, where you will not move, speak, or do anything until you have had the time to reflect on the situation. When you reflect on the situation, you're able to sense what feeling you are getting, you are observing, and then you're better able to handle whatever it is that's going on with you, okay? And again, if you are that person who just feels like you need to vent, great. Vent like they are a journal. Vent about what you would like to happen from the situation. But I would say vent to yourself first. Look in the mirror and act as if you're talking to a friend on the phone, and talk to yourself. Talking to yourself is one of the healthiest things we can do. And for some reason, we are programmed to think that it's weird when you talk to yourself. If it's not weird for you to turn on a TV and let the TV talk to you, then it should not be weird for you to talk to yourself, okay? Because the TV is talking to you, telling you these things that you don't even know what the hell it's going to say. Or even, and a lot of times it's not even your truth. It's speaking to you, but you feel like it's weird to speak to yourself. It may be weird to be like, hey, self, hey, what you doing? Nothing. No, not like that. But like, man, what did I just do? And then wait for it. It will make sense. It's not even like talking to yourself. It's just like being telepathic almost. You don't even have to say it out loud. You can say it out loud. What did I just do? Or why am I feeling like this? All types of things are going to come up. And it's not even that you're waiting for a response. It's going to get answered. That's just how it works. So practice talking to yourself. Practice going in solitude for those moments. And practice if you are going to vent to yourself first, and then call a friend and vent. And when you call the friend to vent about, like I said, what you want to see happen. Vent about how this would be a better situation or what you want to happen. Don't necessarily vent about what did happen. Sometimes even just venting about what you want. You know, I just want to come home to a clean house with dinner ready already and everything in order, and I can just take a bath and relax. Perfectly ashe. Okay? So you state what you want. Your friend can pretty much understand what you didn't get by that, but you're not calling them to bombard them with your problems. You're not calling to mess up their energetic frequency. You're calling to literally manifest with them and through them about a better you, a better life. And that's what they should want anyway if they're your friend. Okay? Now, number 7, while you're probably not evolving and your spirit is probably in stress, is that you are doing too many things to lower your vibration, and you refuse to change, you refuse to see how your life could be if you weren't doing these things. Again, you are not to be blamed for this completely, because a lot of us feel as if we have a certain amount of years here before we shrivel up and die, okay, or get too old to enjoy our bodies and our lives. So people are going to spend those times doing things that are low vibrational, simply because they don't understand that you can live forever in the flesh, and that these things are not true, and that actually you live a low vibrational life where you can die and live and shrivel up and die at a young age of 89 or 90 or 100 or 60 or 65, you know, all these little young lives. this can happen because you are doing a lot of spiritually low vibrational things. This is why. Y'all, remember back in history class when they used to say, oh, these people lived until they were 100 and whatever years old. And then you'll hear the next lifeline of people, and we came across this civilization, and they lived from between this many to 80 years old. Their typical lifespan, that's what they said. The typical lifespan of this civilization was this. They had some lifespans that were like young as hell, like 35. And that's when everybody would die and stuff. So you have to understand that this is our proof that something is happening that is lowering our lifespan. So first of all, I know it's the mentality. First thing they teach you is here's a baby, here's an old person. After that, the old person gonna die. That's how they look at it pretty much. That's it. That's how they teach you. They don't teach you can live forever in the flesh. And they teach you in subtle ways that it's these people's lifestyles that is causing the decline of the lifespan. Your lifespan can be increased, guys, because you were designed to live forever in the flesh. You can live forever in the flesh perfectly ashamed. Okay, so what are you doing to lower your vibration? Let me name a few things. Getting drunk, drinking every night or smoking every night or every now and then or every weekend. Getting drunk every week is not a good thing. Watching horrible TV shows, like I said, these things are talking to you. They're molding your brain. They're talking to your brain. They're talking to your subconscious. These things can hurt you and lower your vibration. Yelling at others, whether it be your spouse, your children, whatever, yelling at others lowers your vibration. Hitting others lowers your vibration. Being addicted to bad news. So I like to say watching the news lowers your vibration. A lot of people disagree because I need the news for the weather. I need the news to see what's happening around my town. I need the news. I need the news to stay informed. Okay, yeah, all right. There's some good things to the news, right? So it's not about the news per se. It's about being addicted to bad news. Okay, if you turn it on for the weather, you turn it on for your politics or whatever, okay, that's one thing. But people literally are addicted to the bad news and they don't know it. And a lot of times it would be fake news. So anyway, I digress. Back to the reasons. Complaining. Complaining will lower your vibrations. Instead of complaining, try being solution-based. Like I was saying, think about solutions. Or even to say, I'm done complaining about this. I'm going to start doing A, B, and C to remedy this. Okay? So maybe instead of complaining, you hire you a life coach, right? That's what I do, guys. Hire you a life coach for a one-on-one session if you want someone to not vent to, but to help you find solutions that you are going to carry out and pursue to improve your life and not just keep talking about the way you feel life should be for you. Okay? Also, another thing to lower your vibration is exaggeration, right? So if something happened at the store, a lady forgot to give you a quarter, and you're like, oh, you know, she actually just forgot to give you a quarter, and you're like, oh, it's supposed to be $7.25. You're like, oh, here, my bad. And you walk off and you cough, and I'm like, oh, so-and-so tried to shortchange me at the store. They tried to reject me. They thought I was stupid. They thought I wasn't going to notice I didn't give me my quarter. You know, that's an exaggeration. Okay, and we exaggerate like that, we are actually asking our universe that, yeah, I know that didn't really happen, but go ahead and make some stuff like that happen. So to exaggerate, making problems worse than what they are is going to seriously lower your vibration. And talking without thinking lowers our vibration. And so if you're talking without thinking to somebody who doesn't have your best interest at heart, or you're talking without thinking to someone who, like a child, who's not understanding that you're talking just because you're writing off an emotion right now, you can do a lot of damage, not only to your own vibration, but to theirs. And then it's a lot to unpack, because that shows how low vibrations, that shows how vibrations in general can trickle down to someone else and keep on either being amplified in a good way, positive way, or a negative way. So how do we fix us from vibrating so low and doing such low vibrational things? Simple. You look at your habits. Keep you a journal. Talk to your friends and family. Take a really good, just clear look at yourself. See what you do on a day-to-day. If you could sit back and write, what do I do Monday through Sunday? Every day, write something that you do. Even if it's on every Friday, I go to my mama's house and we have cocktails. Okay, put every little detail in there that you can remember and start to really keep a check on your habits. Or, dang, I just snapped on so-and-so. When was the last time I snapped like that? Ooh, it was yesterday. What made me snap like that? Digging into it, because you're going to start to see a pattern, right? So that's what life is. It happens in like patterns. Life is a pattern of vibrations. And these different events show up at these vibrations, but it's not meant for the event, it's meant for the vibration, right? So the same things just keep happening. And you must shift your perspective by raising your vibration in order for you to evolve from this vibration and to become unstuck. For example, something just happened to me, and I realized that I have just become unstuck from this vibration because I've been watching my patterns for a year. I've been looking at my journals. It's quite amazing when you realize that, dang, in life, like even when it comes to like when you have a kid or when you have a baby, or when the last time you felt super happy, the last time you went on vacation, or the last time you remember getting a promotion or a bonus, you realize you have these literally, it's a pattern of events where it's almost like clockwork. Every October, you experience a super high rush of energy, right? Where you are just flowing, loving life. Things are going right. Or you just get a whole bunch of money every tax season or something like that, whatever it is. You may look at it as it's just tax season. It's going to be something all the time at that vibration for you until you get yourself unstuck. And so for me, one of the things I've been doing is I've been manifesting things, and I've been not thinking about money, okay? Because when you think about money, you really limit yourself. You have no idea how much you do, but you limit yourself. And the things that have just happened, I realized, oh my goodness, this happened last time this year. It happened last time this year, but it happened with money. And just to see what's happening right now that is money related, but has nothing to really do with money. It's amazing because I realized that I've become unstuck. I've become unstuck in this pattern, meaning that my pattern is going to shift and flow differently. And that's my baby. Give me one moment. Okay. And finally, number 8. Number 8, about why you could be having spiritual stress or stopping your evolution. And that's because you are too rigid or too chaotic. Okay? If you're not flowing in the river of flow, then you are on the banks of chaos or on the banks of being too rigid. Okay? So I got that from this book I was reading called like The Whole Brain Child, right? And the idea of the bank of chaos and the bank of rigidity. So we all know about going with the flow, but if you're not going with the flow, where are you? So that chaos is like that whirlpool of emotion. That's that person who doesn't plan anything. Person who feels like, oh, plan for what? I don't have time for that. Or I just like to go with the flow. I like to be free. That's that person who has no structure in their life when it comes to commitment. Okay, that's the chaotic part. And that does not help you evolve. That actually like leaves you stuck in like a repeating whirlwind of emotions and events and just vibrations that you can't even begin to decipher. Okay. And then on the other end of that is that person who plans everything. That person who, if something goes unaccording to plan, now they're just thrown for a loop. They're so angry. They don't know what's happening because it was planned out like this and it's not working. It just completely causes their emotions to get on a rise, right? So when people are stuck between rigidity and chaos, they can't go with the flow. If you are not able to go with the flow, you must recalibrate. You must start to be opposite, a little more toward the other side of what you're experiencing. Meaning, if you're too much of a planner, you have to learn how to go with the flow. Yes, you can still make your plans, that's fine, but understand that when things are not going according to your plan, they're still going according to the main plan, meaning now it's time for you to flow with it, okay? You plan what you can plan, flow with it. You had all these expectations, okay, great. Some of these are met, the most important things are met, now flow with it, okay? If you're that one who is chaotic, who plans nothing, everything's left floating in the wind, if you want to get out that whirlpool, you're going to have to start going with the flow of a planner, making some commitments, making some things you are hard fast on, okay? You have to say, yes, at 3 o'clock every day, I'm going to go work out. Or daily, I'm going to go work out. Or I might not plan nothing else, but I'm going to make sure that I have a set schedule for when I'm going to homeschool these children. Or when I'm going to demand time to have family time with my people. I'm going to say, okay, yeah, every Saturday we will go out as a family and do something fun or spend time together somehow, okay? So those are my ways for you to remedy this spiritual stress that a lot of us are experiencing and that we will continue to experience if we do not realize that the source of our anger, the source of our sense of being unfulfilled in this life is because we are not growing spiritually, or our focus is not on growing spiritually. And some of y'all don't care about religion, which is fine because I don't either. But it was never that I cared about religion. I cared about the fact that I was connected to something higher that I felt. There is something higher that's out there, you guys, that you are connected to because it is you. And if you do not understand that, then you do not understand yourself, okay? And I'm telling y'all, I'm a life coach. You can book me for one-on-one consultations if you want, but I am telling you that the biggest challenge we face in our life is ourselves. And that's my specialty as a life coach, relationship with the self. Because we are our biggest opposition. We are our biggest supporter, and we are our biggest opposition. We are the most complex being to get to know and understand because we are always evolving, whether we know it or not. And we are always influencing our outer world. And that is also influencing our inner world. So we are always doing something to change that balance and that frequency. All right, Star People, thanks for joining me today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Continue to vibe high.